Well, it wasn't really difficult. I found it fairly early on. And although I poked around quite a bit afterwards and had a look at other places, this seemed, even though it was the first thing I saw more or less, it seemed like the right thing. It just had all the elements it needs really. It's got an extraordinary backdrop of square top and those other formations there, which are quite interesting. And then it's not just a massive area of lake, which is very difficult to make an interesting painting out of. It's got all these little headlands coming in, which guide your eye really into the formations at the back.
You know, Tony, you might not have noticed this, but your hat looks a heck of a lot like Square Top.
So we are here to accompany Tony Foster, our friend, the fabulous artist. He and I and the Buffalo Bill Center of the West were interested in celebrating the Green River. The Green is one of the most important watersheds in the West.
We call the Green River the Buhi Okwe, and literally translates to green water or Green River. And it's a powerful place. We always say it has boha, which is medicine. And when you look at it or you're around it, you can feel that sense of energy that you can get from that. And just the landscape itself, you know, it's a powerful thing. It's never static, it's always changing. And that's the beauty of it.
The questions are in my mind and the answers are on the paper. That's quite right, because as soon as you put that line down, you know immediately whether it's right or wrong. And if it's wrong, you rub it out, and if it isn't, then you carry on. And so it's every inch is considered. Now, I don't paint like a lot of people. I mean, I love Winslow Homer, for example, who could beautifully describe a landscape in about 10 wonderful deft brushstrokes. I can't do that. I just have to sit and do it for as long as it takes to get it right. It doesn't have to be accurate. It's not about accuracy. It's much more about truth. It's more about my truth and trying to convey my response to this place. It's not about how many trees there are down there on that little sandbank. I don't care how many there are, really, so long as I get the impression of those trees as I see them. That's the important thing. And somebody will come along and say, oh, you've missed out 3 trees. Okay.
I do think that the experience of Tony's painting inspires much more than just an appreciation of place. It causes you to slow down, to spend time in those particular places.
I'm not trying to simply put a frame around a particularly choice piece of landscape and copy it. I'm trying to evoke what it actually feels like to live there for a while.
Well, Constable, one of the most revered landscape painters ever, said a landscape painting is a view seen through a perception. And that's what I love about it, in that whatever view I find, it's my perception of it that people are going to see when the painting's finished. And the marvelous thing I always think is if you had two artists sitting side by side painting exactly the same thing, their paintings would be entirely different.
I don't think most people appreciate how challenging it is to paint in watercolor. The fact that you get one go at the whites, for instance. He's not painting from a photograph that someone else took of a wild place. He's taken the effort, he has put in the sweat equity to get to the most beautiful places in the world to paint them.
My personal motivation for supporting Tony Foster's work is, as an educator, to be able to give our students the opportunity to see these arts, and what better way to do it than through nature. I think we share that relationship in terms of feeling the landscape in everything that you do. Wilderness should be important to all of us because what we do to the earth, we do to ourselves.
People should care about Tony Foster's paintings because he cares about including us all in a conversation about art and wilderness and the beautiful possibilities when those two things are married. Tony is doing us all a service by exploring, by adventuring in these places where most of us will never be able to trek. And he's inspiring our compassion. He keeps us in tune with what is good, what is possible. In a way, he helps connect us all on an even playing field and implicates us all in joint ownership, really, of the world.
If I ever did a perfect painting, maybe I could stop. That would be quite nice, really. I could retire. But until I do that perfect painting, I can't retire.
Usudam buhi ogwe divisi zan navoint. Usudam ba damanakand. The Green River is a beautiful place, and water is life.